Look at the foundation of this, Lizzie. You have a problem with one adult doing things to another human being's body who is younger, who can't consent, and it's against their will. So again,
Child
if you think consent is an issue, the child in the womb isn't consenting.
An issue about abortion.
The child in the womb isn't going to be affected. Once again, it's not going to know it's aborted.
So how about if the adult touches the child while it's asleep?
So he just used her argument against her. What does she do as an atheist with no moral backstanding? Because she doesn't believe in God, so she doesn't believe in God's morals. She believes in her own opinions and morals. What does she do when she's stumped, ladies and gentlemen? What do atheists do?
Yeah, okay, back to that again. It's different.
It's different? How is it different?
Gosh,
Let me look it up. Let me see what other people say. Let me not see what God says. Let me see what people say. Do you see? They were talking about abortion and rape and sexuality. And her arguments are, as long as it's consentful, that's all you need for a healthy sexual relationship. He says, so is it okay for a 13-year-old to have sex with a 40-year-old? What is the age of consent for you? If the 13-year-old said, yeah, it's fine, I'm going to do it. That's consentful. So is that fine? She says, no. Child molestation, pedophilia is unacceptable at any rate. And he says, on what moral standing? And she says, consent. And then they go back to the argument of, well, abortion isn't consentful. They're a human being. Shouldn't they have consent? And then she says, they don't know, basically. So what difference does it make if they don't know? And he says, well, what if the person was sleeping while they were raped and they didn't know? And she says it's different. She is stumped, and she goes to look for other people's opinions. When God has given an opinion outright, and if you use his opinions, it logically makes sense. What are you going to do, atheist? Are you ever going to face the music? You have no idea what you're talking about.
You say if the child doesn't know, then it's not immoral. So if this woman that you're accusing of doing this sexually immoral thing is doing it to children,
I'm not accusing her. It's not like a thought. It's like I literally know she did this.
No, that's fine. No, you might be right.
I just want to confirm that.
No, that's okay. I understand that. You're passionate about it, but you're passionate about adults doing things to younger humans' bodies against their will. But you're pro-choice. She's
pro-choice.
She's pro-choice too.
Something's in someone's body.
She's pro-choice too. It's her choice.
The pedophile?
Yeah, again.
Pro-choice has to do with abortion, not pedophilia.
Well, because I'm talking about the moral principles inherent in what you're arguing.
You can't just split it up and say, this is its own thing, this is its own thing. That's where you get the gender thing from. That's where you get people calling themselves cakes from. You're not this or that. It's already been written down to 6,000 years ago.
About the adult doing things
to
a child's body when
it applies to this situation, it doesn't apply to this situation. It's the same circumstances.
You should be on my side on this issue.
So you can't just say it's this and it's that.
Doing things to another younger human's body without their consent and against their will.
Okay. I guess let's go back to the topic.
So welcome to my position, Lizzie.
Okay. I feel like this actually has a lot to do with, the topic of rape victims being forced to carry their pregnancy.
Well, I said it's a very complicated emotional thing because what we have to deal with is coming alongside women like yourself who have been violated in this disgraceful way, and we need to focus our efforts on the man, the perpetrator. We should not punish children for the crimes of their fathers. And I will tell you, Lizzie, I can introduce you. And I'd love to. I don't know where you're at, but I'd fly you out to introduce you to children who were the offspring. They were the results of rape, and they're alive today. Here's the thing: I don't think we should kill them.
Okay, I don't think we should kill them.
You do.
You do.
Okay. Did they? Sorry.
Look, that's why you're stumped. You do think you should kill them. What's the difference of what you call a clump of cells versus a standing human being? What's the difference? And yeah, you say the difference, but the thing about it is everyone has to go through that state. So you can't discriminate just because they're a clump of cells in your eyes. Wait, what? They're 9-month-olds, so you're going to discriminate against that? Everyone has to be a 9-month-old at some point. Everyone has to be, if you live long enough, to a 10-year-old, a 20-year-old. Can't discriminate. Everyone has to be that clump of cells. So you do think, you can't just pick and choose. It applies to this situation, it doesn't apply to this situation. Because what if we did that with, well, we should do that in law. We should do that in law, but we don't. We have an absolute one thing covers all situation. We don't look at the circumstances. And that's the opposite. Funny how that works out, right? Funny how the evil, corrupt government has an absolute, and it's either one or the other. Oh, tough shit that you're in a 1 in a million situation. You're going to get penalized just like the rest of us. But then the same people who support that are the complete opposite on other issues. So it just proves itself to be corrupt and evil.
Did these mothers want to continue on with the pregnancy, or were they?
I know that's too deep for some people, but some people understand what I'm saying. Some people, that's just connecting two dots that have nothing to do with each other, but when you see it for yourself, you see why those two things have something to do with each other.
Did they not have access to abortions?
Well, here's the thing. I think that in a society that actually values human life and thinks that lives matter, we will focus our attention on the rapist and punishing them rather than the child who is the result of the rape.
I do agree.
No, but you
came on. You're also punishing the woman who's already a victim of rape.
Yeah, there's no punishment for the woman when you value human life and the woman. So I think we should come alongside both. I think we should come along.
Pregnant,
killing a baby is not devaluing, or not killing a baby, I should say, is not devaluing the woman's life. Like, how does those two things come together? And then the people will say, I'm drawing weird conclusions, but then how does killing a baby justify, not standing with rape? It's confusing to talk about because it just makes no sense. But yeah, you're not justifying the rape and de-justifying the woman's existence just because you don't want to kill the baby.
You force me to continue to be pregnant for another 9 months. That would be I would feel so violated. I would feel more violated. I would feel punished.
And you understand that, but you do realize we live in a duality. Bad things happen. You don't just get to, like, let's say you accidentally kill somebody. Like totally accidentally kill somebody. Like, they're a drunk driver and you just turned onto the street and they hit you, but they ended up passing away. You accidentally killed somebody. You don't get to just skip all the fucking, the trials and the policies. You don't get to just skip all that just because you're not at fault. But so just because you were raped doesn't mean you get to just kill the baby and skip the pregnancy just because it was something bad that happened to you. Bad things happen in life. And you have to look at the good in them. You can't just go with the bad things. Do you see people? You can't just murder the baby because you were raped. You have to love the baby because it's the opposite of evil and it cancels out the evil. Not cancels out, but the devil doesn't win. The devil wins twice. If you're raped, then you kill the baby, and then you are an atheist. The devil just won 3 times. If you're raped, you turn the other cheek and say, I'm going to love this baby. Then the devil just lost, and God won. So, I mean, when you break it down to the lowest level, it's simple as day. It's black and white. It's, evil and good. It's yin and yang. It's woman and man. It's the duality of our universe, and you got to pick what side you're on. You can't just defend evil blindly. Look at this woman. Look what she looks like. And this is only a product of... There's never been a person who looked like this out of non-defiance of God. There's never been a Christian person who would do this to their body. There's something wrong with them. And then look, this is 2 months later, and look how she cleaned up her appearance a little bit. I think God got through to
Well,
her.
Lizzie, what I would like to, what I would like to do is, I would like to come alongside you and the baby, and uphold the worth and dignity of you both, and say that you both matter, and we need to focus our attention on punishing the criminal, not the child of the criminal. And what I think is a glorious redemptive thing is that this awful, tragic, amazingly abominable thing takes place, and the result of it is we have the unique and beautiful human life like we have today. I can have you shake their hands. I don't think we should kill them.
You can't shake a fetus's hand.
Well, you know,
she's so stuck in her own head. But he was talking about the real rape victims.
It's a human being. It's a human being. Now we're back to the same argument. If you're saying,
I'm not saying a fetus isn't a human being. I'm saying it's a fetus.
Well, it's a human being. So you say you can say fetus, and I'll say human. But I'll stick to the scientific definition of what it is, since we believe in science. It's a human being. And once again, your perspective, and you haven't really responded to this yet. I'd love to see how you do. Your perspective is that it's not fully developed. And
sorry, my phone's about to die.
No, it's okay. So we should be able to kill human beings that are not fully developed.
Sorry, my phone's like glitching.
Now she's avoiding.
I'm really gonna have to leave soon. Not like now or anything.
Well, hey,
like,
do you know what we could do?
Don't be surprised.
You know, it's okay. We could even.
He starts it by, you haven't really answered this question, but will you answer it now? Sorry, I had to leave soon. My phone's about to die.
End the conversation now, and we can continue another time if you want.
That would be cool.
Okay, let's.
If you want to do this again?
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll end the conversation here. We've been going for almost an hour now, I think. And so we'll end the conversation here.
I'd love to debate somebody. I would destroy somebody's moral fucking compass in the name of the Lord, like to bring them over to the good side. But I love that. I was waiting to see what she was going to say. And she goes, my phone's about to die. I have to go soon. You still haven't answered this question. My phone's about to die. I'm about to go soon.
Maybe schedule a time for you to come back. Maybe think through some of these arguments, and then we'll talk again.
I think that would be good.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, it was very interesting talking to you.
I don't have to
Lizzie,
leave
I
now,
wanted to say
but
how
I'm
much I
leave now.
respect you and how grateful I am for